Repeat buyers, beers that are okay, mass-produced kind of shit that I want to drink once in a while, so got the 6er here. I guess I'm down to 4. Must have drank 2 of them. So I'm going to try out the Mad and Noisy's I.P.L lager, Hops and Bolts, Mad and Noisy I.P.L at 5.3% alcohol by volume. Had this once before. Going to re-review this, so I'm doing a few re-reviews. This is like review number 599 videos in the playlist, so it's not the 600th review, but it's the almost the 600th fucking video, and most of them are fucking all beer reviews, right? And what isn't beer reviews is wine reviews, and what isn't wine reviews is homebrew videos, and what isn't homebrews is fucking hop tastings, and the odd fucked up thing. So, yeah, so what I got left is Pacifico. Because I got all the beers in the build your own 6-pack thing, but I really wanted Lagunitas Little Something because I didn't want to pay the $23 for the 6-pack, so I got the single. Figured I'd fill up the rest of the pack, which is, they give you whatever 6-pack holders. I didn't buy this again. This beer isn't worth buying again. But I mean, and I got the Bark and Squirrel Lager from Hop City, and this left, Anchor Steam. Really want to get into those again and kind of redo them and see what I think about them now. Nowadays, since the channel's been up since beginning of 2013, 600 videos in, so we'll redo a few beers worth redoing. So let's pour this fucking I.P.L. Just had the fucking Mill Street Tank House, which is a fave session beer, repeat buyer for me back in the day. I figured why not get it again, see what I think of it nowadays. Let's give this fucker a pour. Alright. So pretty impressive look to the beer. I mean, it's very hazy, very murky kind of orange copper color. Very, very light beige head to it. Very, like I said, it's going to rock up there pretty good. Pretty clean smelling, actually. Not much coming through that head. That's pretty tight. Oh yeah, just cleansing that tank house out of there. Much cleaner. Doesn't have the big sweet. I should have drank that beer after, because like big sweet beers and shit like that kind of leave that gross fucking taste after, like when you eat candy and chocolate and shit. And that's one thing about tank house. It's the only downfall is it's quite sweet up front. This one's much cleaner, drier, even more sessionable than that one. That was very sessionable beer as well. The lager yeast is nice. I really like I.P.L lagers. I think that's a really good idea. Had my first Imperial Pilsner. Not sure what to think about that. The Hallertau or whatever left my mouth numb for like 2 days, and I'm a hophead, and that was way worse than Ruination or anything. The Lagunitas Imperial Pils. This is a fucking palate wrecker. This is the biggest fucking palate wrecker beer I've ever had. Lagunitas Imperial Pils. When you have like Hellertau or whatever that was, that super numbing noble hop, you know what I mean? It's in a lot of Euro lagers and stuff. It's in there, and it'll fucking numb. Your fucking mouth feels like the doctor fucking froze it for like 2 days. Back to this beer. Let's fucking throwing beers around, you know what I mean? Let's fucking talk about beer. We got some beer. Actually, it's pretty mild after having a beer that's a bit bigger. Not bigger, but more robust. So you have a beer that has a little more flavor to it. Before, this is quite light and sessionable, but to a lot of people this would have quite a bit of hops, but it's very mellow. But it's still well balanced. The hops are really coming out in the aftertaste. You're really getting malts up front, but it's not overly malty at all. It's very, even though you got this color to the beer, it's so dry. The flavor is a little bit bready, a little bit, you know, if you want to say biscuity or something. A little bit of caramelized, a little bit of caramel up front. Very, very dry. It has that bready kind of feel to it, but the hops are just enough to kind of override the breadiness, which is actually... Vanilla Bryce brews a... the hell was it? It was a pale ale. And says, you know, try this. He says, what do you think? And there was a lot of honey malt in the brew. So we brews this beer, we try it out, and we're both like, shit, we could barely finish 1 pint of it, alright? So he's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, this fucking beer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know, man, it's kind of fucked up. And I was like, what's this? Like, honey malt, pale malt, and a little bit of hops. So what do you do? Dry hops the keg. Problem solved. Hops can... If you got these beers, these bread bombs I call them, if they're too bready, you can, like, if you are fortunate enough to put them in a keg, like if you bottle it, you're kind of fucked. Unless you want to insert hops as you drink it, and you can do that. But you just dry hop the fucking keg, throw a bunch of Cascade or Amarillo in your IPA that's too bready. Let's say you use too much honey malt, and you can all of a sudden drink it because it's all taste. Linked up to your mind or whatever, and seriously you'd think that it would still be too bready to drink, but you don't notice the breadiness once you fucking jack it up with Amarillo. My point is, this beer has enough hops to cover up any breadiness that's in there. The lager yeast is kind of making it a bit crisper, a little bit fresher. There's a little bit of that nice sweetness up front, a little bit of that caramel. And the hops aren't, it's not like a big hop bomb of an IPA. It's pretty low in the hops, I'm going to say, for an IPA. But definitely tasting some Cascade or something like that in here as well. It's really well balanced. If you want something that's a little bready and a little hoppy, it's actually a little more subtle than this one. I just had the Tank House. It's a little bit more bold. This overall has a nicer feel to it. It's nicer on the stomach. It's nicer on the palate. It's very sessionable. I mean, you could drink tons of this shit. Really liking the... I liked it the first time I had it too. Hops and Bolts at 5.3% alcohol by volume. Mad and Noisy, which is something to do with Creemore Springs. Some kind of loophole here. So, yeah, I'd recommend that beer. Absolutely. As for a rate, pretty solid, pretty fucking solid. And for the style American craft beer, again, I'm not trying to rate this up against the most fantastic barley wine because it's just not that. Excellent. I think I'm gonna 9 3/4 this out of 11. There's a bit of room, you know. I guess I'm sure that there's one that's gonna even blow me away more than this. That's all. But this is like an amazingly solid beer to me. I really like this on draft. This would be awesome. Again, another brew pub specialty. Or if you own a bar that's serving craft beer, I definitely recommend getting some kegs of this and fucking putting them in your bar. There's certain beers people can drink a lot of, like Marzen, like a good Oktoberfest. This and a dry American craft beer. Oh, IPAs for sure. This is a beer that agrees with my system. I don't think I'll get a hangover or anything from this. It tastes fucking awesome. I'll say about 9 3/4 out of 11. Maybe even close to a 10. Top that for I.P.L. I know people can because they can just load it up with so many kick-ass hops. They can make an I.P.L. even just like IPA. I mean, they can make them so. Imagine they could just get real citrusy or anything that people do with the IPAs. And there's some great IPAs I want to give 11 out of 11, but you know that there's always a few better ones. So I'm gonna just stop this one at 9 3/4. Beerzerker, and I'm out. Yeah.